Welcome in, welcome once again to the newest edition of 3 In, 3 Out, the most unique Seahawks recap and film review show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and today I am joined by my great buddy, Adam Emmerich. Adam, our Seahawks went to 12-3. I enjoyed so much listening to the post-game show with you and Brandon yesterday. There was so much Hawkra. There was so much to celebrate. Sam gets a chip, and our team is now in pole position in the NFC. This is a tough conference, and we're sitting atop it. How you doing about 24 hours later?
Tough conference. We're number one, and that feels dang good, especially sending the Rams packing. Nothing feels quite as gratifying as that, I truly believe. The postgame show, man, that was wild because late night, a few beers in, and just such a roller coaster of a game that it was hard to almost process the entire thing and everything that went down. But as you sit back and you really soak it in and you realize the way the game flowed and everything like that, this show's all about looking at the nooks and crannies, right, Clinton?
Yep.
There's a quadrillion nooks and crannies from this game. I can't wait to see what you've come up with. I love doing this show.
I love it. Cool. I love it. I got Sean Scotchman saying, hey, everyone, still riding the high of last night. What a roller coaster game. Yeah, man, for absolute sure. The Snails joining us. We got Dogzilla Monster saying LFG Hawks. TJ, his season, whatever that is amazing. Yeah, the season's amazing. And we got Witherfork coming in. Witherfork with the Australian 79.99 saying Hawks in top of the division, hit my Blue Friday Hail Mary bet. So sharing even more Hawkra, catfish the Rams, very hungover. Witherfork. So yesterday, Witherfork was with us. You and I did a pregame show, which I liked doing quite a bit. So a live pregame show. We did our Blue Friday bets. And then Witherfork was doling out some stuff then. And you hit your Fail Mary yesterday. We'll review that at a later date. But Witherfork hit a nice, it's like 425 or something like that, or maybe more. And he's throwing it back to us, which is really, really cool. Hawkra could be raised in many, many ways, but that's got to be one of the best ways.
Oh, that was super cool, man. Appreciate that a ton, Witherfork, and being with us through the pregame, throughout the game, and then postgame, and then today. Like, your support's fantastic. We appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, that is amazing. And we have a member out there. We got Navajo Egg Roll saying, is Adam sober for this stream? Adam, sober?
Yeah.
Sobriety check? Okay, there you go.
Yeah. No, I'm total check, bubbly water.
There you go. Have you seen the trailer for the kind of remake of Anaconda with Jack Black, Paul Rudd, and others?
Yeah, close my eyes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there's a scene with Steve Zahn that they've been showing where they're like, they ask him like, are you sober? He's like, yeah, I'm just down to like beer and like, beer and wine and like some light liquors. And they call it Buffalo sober. And I was like, that's the funniest. That's such a great terminology. So
that's fantastic.
Always great. Ryan 911, our executive live producer with the $9.99 super chat saying number one is going to be a banger. Well, we shall see. I think they're all bangers, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So people are fired up, people are jacked up. This is a review show. We have different segments to it. We go through the ins, the outs. We get some extra ins because of the W. Winners get sprinkles after all. And then the second half of the show, the last third of the show, potentially, if you want to call it the last stanza, if this was a hockey game, we go to the From the Flock section, Adam, as you know, because that's when we get the ins and outs that come from our amazing flockers that hang out in our Discord. And I kind of always want to show people and tell them, of course, what are some of the things they could be doing to get involved right away. So you did a great job last night telling people about the YouTube channel. Take it away.
Yeah, you bet, man. You just go to getintheflock.com. You can join the Patreon, and there's a bunch of different levels there that you can join. $3 a month or above gets you into the Discord. And if you are in the Discord, then you get to participate in things like 3 in, 3 out, and put in your ins and your outs, have them read on air, and it's really cool. Plus, it's a fantastic place to talk about the game throughout the game, and it was a great support group yesterday at times, and then it turned into an overall crazy celebration. So do that, or just hit like, and then if you're feeling froggy, hit subscribe, or don't. It's really, do your thing. But after a game like that, everybody's got to be fired up for the Seahawks team in any Seahawks content out there.
100%. Nate Shoots saying, are we going to take side bets on in number one? Well, I'm the only person who currently knows, so bet away if you want to. I love it. And we got William saying, I'm in. Good evening, all. So we got folks just piling. And I like this from Dogzilla saying, Sharps for the NFL Genius of the Year award. Look, whether he knew it or not, it doesn't matter to me. Brandon, Adam, have you heard the two amazing nicknames that have already been, cast upon that play by Charbonnet?
I heard the Zachwards pass, but that was the one. Yeah.
The Zachwards pass is one, and then Hawk Tua conversion. Which is also,
oh no, I like that one too much. That's hilarious.
It's all really good.
Can you imagine if Sharps actually had spit on that thing when he was done?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
that would have been hilarious.
That would be. Nate Shoots saying he's taking $1 on Zabel for the in, but we shall see.
Who's booking this action?
I know, right? Yeah, that's great. That's great. We got With a Fork saying what it was too, which I want to show the audience. My fail Mary was plus 3,500 at $50. So he took home 1,700 Australian. And dude, thank you so much for giving that much back of it.
Congrats,
very,
man.
very, very much appreciate it. Michael Knight saying the LA Lambs are the team in our NFL history too. And then that ... is like they gave up all those points and yada, yada, yada. So Michael's still celebrating. I think it was either his brother's wedding or somebody's wedding out in Vegas, having a good time out there. So Michael, keep rocking out there, dude. All right. So one of the things we also do, not just polls that go out to YouTube, and of course, not just content, but sometimes after a cool win, like to make a little artwork, take some of the awesome photography. One of the cool parts about like living right now is that the media is just so good. There's so much of it. And then the tools are so good and easy that you can take great photography and mash things up. So a couple things on screen there that I had some fun with this morning. The first one was just, of course, Salbert for the win, which was a lovely little play in and of itself. And neat to see Sam in the biggest moments, Adam. Sam, cool feet, progression 1, progression 2. Okay. I got my dude leaking out of the backfield. It's Saubert, easy squeezy. Like let's get out of here. Let's get the 2 points and start celebrating. When the game got the hottest, Sam kind of got the coolest at him.
He did. He pulled it together towards the end of the game and obviously led us on the big drive in overtime there with a couple really clutch throws and getting out of the pocket too and creating a little bit. We kind of forget about him getting out of the pocket to get the ball to JSN on the first big play there to kind of get this thing going, and just excellent job by Sam down the stretch. Obviously it was a terrible job before that, but that's kind of the point. Like if you can come back from that in that moment, I feel like that's probably the best possible outcome for him in almost every way.
Yeah, he shook it off, right? He shook it off and came back. And a little foreshadowing for this 3 and 3 out. We're going to look at a particular Sam play later because we have to. We absolutely have to.
Absolutely.
All right. So Brandon's usually here, and every single time we win, God dung it, Gad dung it. How would Philip Rivers say that? God dug it.
No, he'd say Dag Nabbit.
Dag Nabbit. That's one of them. Dag Nabbit, I lose the sticky note. So if you could help me remember, we have one rule on 3 and 3 out. Can you help me remember that rule? Because the sticky note, it's not
no, the rule is very simple. I win at this show. That's the rule. Oh, wait, no, that's not the rule. The rule is if we win, the Seahawks win, we start with an N, baby.
We start with an N. I don't think I have the whammy. I don't care. It does, at this point, doesn't matter. We all know we've done the whammy before, but whammy or whammy not. I forgot to load it up. It's okay. We got in number 1. I'm calling this one Mean Streak. Mean Streak. And obviously there's a nice little, obviously 2 and 2 together. I'm sure you could guess where we're going, but it is, just to start to paint the picture before we start looking at the videos, 0-0 ball game, Q1, 9:55 to go. This is actually the 3rd down right before the 4th down when we get off the field. So the timestamp's a little bit wrong, but I wanted to show this play because it was nice and early. By the way, quickly before we look at this, what did you think of McVay's balls on the very first drive being like, our 38-yard line, don't care. Hell's bells. We're going for it on 4th down. Well, they have 3 4th down attempts on that first drive, Adam?
Yeah, it was something like that, an outrageous amount. Sean came out extremely aggressive. He knew that this game meant just loads and loads for both of these teams. And he wasn't going to go softly into the night. And it was like, hey, I know that these two teams are evenly matched. And I think the thing it speaks to the most is that he did know that this was going to be a tight game going down the stretch, and you're going to need every little advantage that you possibly could get to pull it out. And the Seahawks did need every little advantage that they had to pull it out. And so he was super aggressive early, where I'd say Mike and Clint were probably a little more conservative.
Yeah, they certainly were. Nate Schutz put the dollar on the line. He puts it up and he says, hey, that's a bet. So great freaking job. I saw the buck come up. I'm like, okay, I mean, any dollar is great. Appreciate it. But then I saw the bet's a bet.
That's hilarious.
That's very funny. And a man of your word. Nate hangs out with us as a member also in the Discord, which, all y'all should be getting involved in. All right. So we're going to be looking, I'll stop it here so we all see, highlighting Tariq Woolen. So this is the third down play right before the fourth down play in which we stopped them on that first drive. So really cool stuff. Tariq, the last, maybe 6+ weeks now, Adam, to me, he's been not just like, doing his normal man stuff and being a good man corner. He's been a better tackler. He's been much, much more aggressive and to and through the ball tackler. And I think this is just a nice example of it. We'll look at a couple of versions, but right, the breaks the right time. It's a little out. And then I love how it's like spoons on there and they're really attacking. So we see one more angle here as well. And this is just Tariq doing some, I think his cornerback play has been just, I don't know, man. It's I hate to say night and day, but he has certainly stepped up his game after catching some criticism again earlier this year.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Coming into this season, it was looking like that maybe Tariq wouldn't be long for this team just because of the lack of physicality in his play. And you see him, he doesn't exactly wrap up here, but he comes with mean intentions.
Yes.
And that's something that you love to see. He diagnoses it quickly as the ball's out and really takes a quick break on it and impede Turd Ferguson's progress here enough to where he gets his boys to come and rally with Spoon and help finish him off, and really does every blade of grass, right? In every little advantage you can gets them into fourth down, and you get them to attempt a field goal instead of getting into
they go for it again, and we stuff them with this drive.
Oh, that was the first one.
This is the first drive.
Okay.
This is drive one, maybe the third time they go for fourth down right after this play. And that's why I'm showing it too, is because where they're stopping them is like just before the sticks. And if that's Ferguson, which I think it is, he does nothing but go straight backwards. So he does drives him out of bounds towards the boundary. So if he's not exactly wrapping, at least he's doing everything else really, really correct. So this was nice because, hey, we defer. They take all the chances. They put together a pretty meaty drive because they just keep getting those fourth down conversions. We stop them here. We stop them the next play. We get the ball back. We march down and go up 7-0. So pretty cool start. Yes, the game had these ups and downs for sure, but we get done with the first half. It's like, all right, it's 13-7. We get the ball. And then boom, it's 14-13. All right, now again, we fell behind. The rest of the rest of that third quarter was ugly. Yeah. But whatever, it was touchdowns, not threes. Jason Myers had the day off basically. And every little nook and cranny like this, where we did get 7 and it looked like we were out of the game when it was 30-14, certainly every single point counted. So wanted to start there, hoping you're digging it. All right, let us take it to an out. If we had a whammy, you could imagine what it would sound like, but it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm too sober to sing.
I am not, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to call this one Zoinks. We're really channeling our great Shaggy and our Scooby-Doo reference here. Q2, 3 minutes ago. Now it's 13-7. We got the ball, 2nd and 8. And we are on our own 37-yard line. Now, there is a clue within the word Zoinks. What do you think we might be looking at?
Is this play where Zabel gets blown up by Kobe Turner?
This is the play where Zabel gets blown up by Kobe Turner.
I'm glad you dumbed down the clues for me this week, because you know how bad I am at it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for playing to your audience.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I figured the Zoinks. So this is what we're going to be squared up here. Look, we've got to talk a little bit of honesty about Gray Zabel's pass blocking there. And by the way, we're going to look at some stuff that's good. This is what 3 and 3 out's about. It's like, it ain't all good. It ain't all roses. It's not all bad, but there's a lot of nuance in the game of football. And as a rookie, he's done a lot really, really good. And the last couple of weeks, a little bit of I think a deterioration of his pass pro specifically. Before we wind the tape here, do you agree with that overall? Is it just tougher competition? What do you think?
I don't think his pass pro as a whole has deteriorated over the last few weeks. I think he plays really solid football. And look, you're going to be in a big game here against big-time competition and a big-time player like Kobe Turner. Guess what? You're going to get got now and then. And Zabel also had a number of really quality plays in this football game that really helped us win the entire contest. So we'll see exactly what happens here. I haven't gone back and watched the tape on this, but it looked like that Kobe kind of beat him with his hands early, if I remember correctly. We'll see how this goes for Zabes here.
We'll look at it. It's a bit of a lunge and a miss, and Sam is under absolute duress. Again, this is a 2nd and 8. We're at our own 37, and we'll see here again, letting it roll.
Oh, it gets swiped.
Yeah, okay. bit of a lunge and gets swiped. I think I slow it down one more time. And yeah, a little bit more close up. It is hey, good move. Kobe Turner's he's good. It's just that you want to fight a little bit longer, a little harder there, and not get completely olayed, because that's pretty much an olay.
Oh, for sure. He rarely gives up quick pressure. It's just not something you see often. What he's trying to do here, he's trying to get out and get a quick punch inside the shoulder pads right out the gate here. Then he tries to stab him with the left there. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, then Turner just goes and wins the hand fighting battle here. Gives him the swipe right there. Whoop.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And that's just really good technique from Turner. And look, man, defense gets paid too. Sometimes you're going to get got. And maybe you don't know what his rush plan was here in terms of Zabel. Like, did he? I almost feel like, for me, if I played at this level, I'd want to try to get out and jump set a lot of these guys and like get aggressive and bring the attack to them as often as possible. That's not always the possible there, but he has no help. He gets swiped, and Turner does his thing. Look, man, again, for where he was drafted and what he's brought to the team so far this year, giant overall win. This one play happens to go in the lost bucket.
Yeah. And again, I think there's a bit more of these showing up a little bit more lately. I think there is some more volume of not as egregious as this, but plays where he is being beat one-on-one. However, again, we're going to look at some other stuff later where I think he's doing some really marvelous stuff too. So more foreshadowing.
Yeah, he got beat on another play in this game, but it was beat really late. It was after Sam had held the ball a ton. And
getting beat late is like that. I really never mind that, because if you get beat late, yes, you'd like to see them fight, but they're fighting to the very end. But sometimes there's a coverage sack, right? That's what happens. Or the quarterback doesn't progress it the way they're supposed to, or take off when maybe they should. So those things happen. It's these where you get a jailbreak that, the quarterback can't do anything, and they just put you in the 3rd and forever, and then we're to give up territory. So, all right, it is what it is there. But we got Sean saying he has played he has played solid game, and remember, he's only a rookie. There are going to be times. Yeah, absolutely, no. Sean. I completely agree with you. And again, the nature of this show is we're gonna look at good things and bad things, and that's what happens in football. So we have a lot more ins to get to, so we're gonna mosey on in, and you can imagine we call it the silent whammy today. Just silence. Let's have it.
It's a moment of silence for the shit ass Rams and their terrible loss.
Perfect. We're gonna really skip quite a bit ahead in time in terms of the timeline here, because we also had overtime. So we're going to call this one in number 2, lockdown mode. And now you can see the scores 30-14. This is pivotal. So Adam, Sam throws the interception to Kobe Turner at the goal line, basically doesn't see him, right? Just does not see Kobe Turner, who peels back off the line and just floats back into the lane essentially. And man, I threw my glasses down. I was like, dude, this is going bad. And after that, the Seahawks defense put together from defense, the stance wise, punt, punt, missed field goal, punt, overtime.
Yeah.
Punt, missed field goal, which is a pretty long field goal, not a gimme, punt, overtime. I want to call out one of the plays that at 30-14, we're going to look at right here. I think this is one of the absolute keys to the game that I don't think people were talking about too much. Who do you think, any guesses, any remembrance of who made a big play here that maybe went under the radar?
Gosh, there's the volume of stuff that happened in this game.
It's true.
One particular. I'm going to go with Job having a nice coverage on a play here, locking somebody down.
Oh my goodness, you should have put $1 on that. So Ryan 999, Ryan 911 back in with another $9.99 super chat into. It's going to be a banger too, dude. You're the best, dude. So that's Frost in our Discord, aka Coach. We love you, Coach. So thank you for doing that, man. Dude, you nailed this. So this is going to be Job, and we'll play it through. Now, remember, this is now 3rd and 6. We made a pretty good play. I think they get a 4-yard quorum run on 2nd down. Then it's either a tackle at the line or another incomplete. I forget the with this particular drive. But this one, we got. Do you know who he's locked up with out there? Top of the screen for everybody watching on YouTube. Who do you think that is?
Oh, that's that annoying Puka Nacua guy that just destroyed us all day.
That annoying Puka on all the levels, Puka Nacua guy who he is good at football. And you're going to see a bunch of angles here, but I don't think you could play this better. This is a good ball by Stafford, and Stafford's kind of throwing off his back hip. He's getting to heat up a little bit, but nice little hand fighting within the 5 yards. Just really breaks down cleanly, does not foul him, but he does foul this up for Stafford and crew, and they need to punt. What are you saying?
Yeah, first off, Stafford looks nowhere else but right there because, to be fair, this is a great play by Joe, but he got burned a number of times by Puka in this game as well. But this is a great play by him, and it does get you off the field, and this is where the game really turns. So give Job a lot of credit for being one of the guys that really stepped up in the game's biggest moments when you're 3% chance of winning at that point, and you've got to have it. Nice hand fighting right at the beginning of the rep, stays in phase, and just sticks right to Nakua's hip. See right here, great hand fight, stays right in phase with him. Here we go. In the second, Puka turns to look at the ball. Job does as well. Doesn't get handsy, does not panic, just gets his left arm out there and knocks the ball down. That is textbook corner play. That's how you play a back shoulder. I don't think that's a great ball from Stafford. I think
it could have been outside more for sure. So he does miss a little bit, which I was helping to produce the show last night, and you guys kind of got into the Stafford's fourth quarter, and one of my comments was, hey man, lo and behold, if and when you heat Stafford up, he becomes a mortal quarterback again, right? I know he threw for a bajillion yards and all that, but again, punt, missed field goal, punt to end regulation. We figured it out. It's just, we just got to heat him up. And we did way more of that down the stretch, which again is when it matters.
For real. And you saw Mike bring a lot more corner blitzes late in the game on high leverage downs. And once Stafford started to get hit, and I really think after the Nuoso hit, like that was the one that I think that's the one that really actually rattled him to a degree. And I mean, as much as you can rattle Matt Stafford in, it wasn't pretty for him in that fourth quarter. Also, too, big shout out to Colby Parkinson. Thank you. I just appreciate your lack of play and what you did for us. So,
there were many drops. All right, perfect. So that's a great way to end in number 2. And the piece I really like peeling out of that was that Job did kind of get worked. He didn't win. He lost more than he won, but Puka Nacua is a legit top 3, if not top 2, if not the best wide receiver in the league right now. And if this is an offensive league and you got a good quarterback who was, for the most part, not under duress. So you're not gonna win them all. By the way, do you know, a little pop quiz for you? This again, it's 30-14. What is the very next play after this deflection on 3rd down? Very next play.
Oh, there's a guy that just fills a need for me, and it's the need for Shaheed, and he comes through here. And again, this is the moment in the game where everything started to swing.
Yep, absolutely. So we're actually not covering that because it was so darn big. We'll talk about it from the flock section, but I want people listening and watching to remember it's that play by Job, and then there's a punt, and it is a return for a touchdown, and it changes the entire complexion of this game. So that's why I was calling Job out. All right, out number 2, the whammy of silence.
Oh, I can hear the Rams tears hitting like the floor.
Love it. All right. So now we are looking at, we're calling this one Split the Indifference. Q3, 806. We're only down by 2 at this point. I think that's right. Is that correct? 16-14?
Yeah. That's how the math works there.
Q3, 806, 1st and 10. We got the ball at the 50-yard line. What I want to just call out. Okay, well, first before that, can you potentially guess where we're going with this split the indifference on a 1st and 10?
They threw a pass to the back, so they split the indifference between running and passing. I don't know, man. I've got nothing on this one.
No, you're doing pretty good. This is a call out of yes, we had the great canine screen earlier in the game, which is really not horizontal. That's just screen game. But when we try to do the horizontal stuff, it's just not working. It's not working. Whether it's like down the stretch when it's a 30-30 ball game and it's like, okay, we throw 1 to K9, we throw 1 to JSN. It's like bubble. Like, what are we doing? But earlier in the game, in this situation, again, it's like our horizontal game, it's just execution. So to me, it's like when people are getting mad at Kubiak, when people are getting really pissed at Kubiak, it's like, I understand that. And if we execute this, because we got the numbers an offensive coordinator would want, like the numbers dictate this play should go for at least a few yards. So we get a 2-on-1 here because you'll see the corner creep up. Now this is Kupp and Barner, who, by the way, I think Kupp is actually a pretty darn good blocker. And I think AJ Barner's a pretty darn good blocker. Execution wise, we're going to throw this thing out. I think it's the Charbonnet, which I don't love, by the way, right? If you're going to throw out something like this, why not to your quick twitch guy? But whatever. But either way, it doesn't really matter who this was because you got one cornerback going through a larger wide receiver and a much larger tight end. Poor execution, Adam. And I understand Kubiak, the call to be like, get mad at him, but did Kubiak not execute this? He had numbers. And here's the thing is that throughout the game and in our Discord and even going back and forth with our good buddy, the DCH, one of the things that we were talking a lot about was how much of this is on Kubiak and other players and this, that. And to me, a lot of the stuff that happened in this game was execution more so than if the play design was any good or not. Having a play design on a bubble here where you've got a tight end and your best blocking receiver supposedly doubling a corner here, like that should leave a 1-on-1 here with the linebacker or nickel, whoever this type here is near the logo. And I love having a 1-on-1 with your back against those guys. Problem here is I want to blame Kupp because everybody knows I'm a Kupp hater on this show. I genuinely am. It's irrational. I'll tell you, I admit it, like no doubt about it. And in real time, I thought like, oh great, one thing you're brought in here to do is A, hold on to the football first, because this was after that, I'm pretty sure. Yes.
And then B, like you're supposed to be the great blocker, and boy, you just whiffed here. This isn't on him. This is on Barner, in my opinion. Barner comes up and tries to engage and help with the double team, but he doesn't get him shoved over enough in front of Kupp for him to be able to seal the other direction. And Kupp is expecting Barner to stay with him longer, and he just comes off the block too early. Like if Barner stays with him, so instead of getting off right there, you probably pick up at least 3 or 4 yards. Instead, Barner's trying to get up to the next guy here, and it really just kind of fizzles out here as the corner is able to, as you kind of put it, split the difference.
Yeah, good analysis here because Barner is basically taking Kupp out of the play, like inadvertently. He's obviously not trying to do that, but it's like a little bit of like pin action. If this was bowling, he's shoving the Ram into the corner, into Kupp. Kupp is not in good position, and he inadvertently just puts the corner in perfect position just to go make a tackle for a loss. It's it's execution. If we have numbers on the outside, again, I'd rather that be canine for many reasons, but even later.
Or Shaheed even.
Well, true. Very, very true. Shaheed Unlimited and foreshadowing. We're going to look at something else a little bit later, but Shaheed Unlimited touches is extremely explosive, as we know. All right, that's out number 2. I guess the thing for me though is like, I don't want Kubiak to have to abandon the horizontal looks, because I do think good OCs can build things off of that, right? They show horizontal, and then next time they might have like trip horizontal and fake, or like, do a little pump fake on what would be a wide receiver screen and quickly work back to the other side with an isolation slant or something like that. Yes, or you get a one-on-one on the other side and you get to take a shot on something. You see that stuff, that creativity off of it too. So when folks are like, man, we got to stop doing this. It's like, well, I have a belief that Kubiak is a seasoned enough veteran, knows ball enough, that these are things to put on film so that we could do other things later, right? And keep building on these different looks, because that's his entire system is, I'm going to show you the same look and then throw a no wrinkle in there that you have not seen on tape all year. So it's a little bit of, I know it's week 16, but still for me, it's like a little bit of patience because it's still year 1 Kubiak. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, you got to first stretch the defense horizontally and then vertically. Like all the OCs talk about this all the time. It's one of the most basic things in football. But one of the things that I start to wonder is that when you get to this point in the season, how many bubbles have we run well where JSN isn't the target? Like, not many. Not many.
Not too many.
And if that's the case and it's not something that you do well, maybe it is time to find some other ways to stretch the defense horizontally. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I don't have maybe it's, Spider 2 wide banana or something for all I know, like how you get after it. But there's a lot of ways to do it, and maybe that's a little bit more with jet sweeps and things like that, but it does help create space downfield when you start to attack vertically. And so, yes, you're right. You do have to do it to a degree. Are we always doing it playing to our players' strengths? And that's something, again, first year on the job. Like, it takes a while to really sink in with guys like that and know exactly who does what the best.
Yep, for sure. So that is out number 2. That brings us to our last regular in, and that of course, because when we win, we get some extras because winners get sprinkles. So again, the whammy of silence. Let's hear it. Let's pretend to hear it.
Oh, I think Sean McVay's hair sponsor just dropped his gel sponsorship.
Dude, his look at the press conference, McVay's look, oh my gosh, dude, wonderful. Big mad. Big mad. Oh yes. My gosh. Look, and not big mad is Ryan 911. He's having a heater. He's loving this. Another $9.99 super chat saying in number 3, ? Banger. Ryan, I think you're gonna love this one, dude. I really do, because I think this is maybe the play of the year in every sort of way. So in 3, Adam.
Okay.
I think this is the play of the year. I think it's the best play, the most, and there's a word here for a reason, clutch, spelt a certain way. In 3, clutch time, Q5, overtime, 4:29 to go. We tie the game up. We're down 16. We get 2 touchdowns, two-point conversions. The game stalls out. The Rams get the ball. They drive the field. Puka goes nuts in overtime. Sam comes back, 4:29, 2nd and 8. We're on LA's 37. Do you know what we might be looking at here, bud?
Oh, we're going to look at a catch by Cooper Kupp. And I said his full name out of respect, because anybody who's listened to the show for a while knows, just out of protest, I only call him Kupp. But at the end of the day, that was a fantastic toe drag swag catch on the sidelines, getting us further downfield in a big moment there in overtime. It was huge. So
obviously the thumbnail is clutch with the K. There's a little pivot here though, a little nuance. Look, Kupp makes an amazing, this is a great catch. You just said all the things about it. This is about Sam, dude.
It's a better throw. I couldn't wait to talk about it because it's a better throw.
So so we got this highlighted here. I forget exactly. Yeah. So just kind of showing the bunch formation. Oh, I know why I highlighted that, because this is where the stunt comes from. So you got, I think it's Verse on the outside, really well executed stunts. And so it's not like Lucas gets beat. You can see that Bradford gets pushed into Lucas, and it's just this is how you stunt in the NFL. And for those that don't know what a stunt is, when you're watching film or watching a game, the edge guy who might be like at the 7 or the 9 technique, so just the defensive edge, in this case, Jared Verse, he's going to cut inside and go through the more interior gap, while his interior guy tries to push his guard into the tackle. That's exactly what you see. So they drive Bradford into Lucas, creates this big lane, and Verse comes barreling down on Sam. Look what Sam does in the biggest freaking moment, man. There's a couple of more angles too that are even better. This one's okay, and the last one's even better. And this is a great way to see the stunt. Perfectly executed. I mean, he has got to do, great catch, but barreling down one last one, and then I'll turn it over to you, man. From behind here, even better look. I mean, look at the placement of this ball, Adam. Kind of stepping up. There's no room to step up, but on a rope to the sideline, to the far sideline, with 2 defenders, with Verse coming at your freaking grill. What do you want to say about this?
Oh, first off, okay, we'll talk about the toughness last, because that might be the most impressive thing, which is crazy to say, because watch the ball. Like, he's got to actually drop this in over the corner in front of the safety in the little honey hole there. And that is a tight window. Great. Like, when that ball is coming off of his hand, it looks like on 80% of throws that DB is going to be able to undercut that and, have another big interception and change the entire narrative. In the touch on a throw like that, like that's why I wanted to start there. Is it's so difficult to make that throw in a clean pocket with your feet synced up and everything right on time. And while the timing's good here and he is sound with his feet, he's sacrificing himself for the team. Like, there's no way right now when Verse comes around that he doesn't know he's about to feel legit pain. And it might be the last throw he makes all season. He stands in there, he takes it in the chops and delivers an absolute strike. And this is the type of stuff that if you're looking for Sam to continue to, make the leap and be that guy in the big moments, this is going to go so far to make that confidence grow more and more just week in, week out. I mean, that's, I often get kind of lambasted in the comments about like my grading scale, like, and how I kind of talk about guys. And, I'll say, that's, the A- throw. And people are like, what are you talking about? It's an A+ throw. The A+ throws are special and rare. This is an A+ throw. Like, everything about it. It's magical. Like, fantastic job by both players on this particular rep. And it really does just show the toughness of Sam Darnold.
Yeah, this is the Christmas Story, or A Christmas Story, Ralphie, when he gets his daydreaming about his paper and the teacher gives him the A+++ all the way down the chalkboard. You're not going to find a better NFL throw than this. Even if this was first quarter, whatever, first play of the game, this is an A+ throw. When you compile the biggest game in a decade at home with the 1 seat on the line, in overtime against a team that's heating you up, and you're down 7 and must score a touchdown to extend the game. I don't know if there's enough pluses in the multiverse, Adam, to be like, that's how big of a throw this is. So to have those 2 interceptions, to then get 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions, to then do this, and then of course hit JSN and then hit Saubert for the win. Give the man his flowers, right? He did the thing. He did the thing when there was
after doing the anti thing earlier that he's always done, right? And that's the crux of it. That's what makes it so special.
A moment of silence for McVay's tears as we bounce to out number 3.
I think he's dehydrated. I can hear his skin like crinkling up from all the crying he did at the podium about the 2-point conversion.
Oh yes, he did. He did. The only
What a
crappy
crybaby
part,
shit ass.
yeah, I love that terminology. I've adopted it. In fact, it's great. The only downer about starting with it in is that we end with it out, but then we don't really, because we just do more ins because they're more fun. But out number 3, just calling this Screen of Death, Q4 443. This was that part of the game where, now this part of the game, I wanted to kick Kubiak into the sun. I was like, what? Sam's cooking. He just drove down 2 times. And then it all of a sudden felt like we got conservative, and it was like, okay, let's put him in a bubble, and we're going to bubble out to K9, and we're going to bubble out to JSN. It's like, what, why? And with all that, so I have criticism there because we were starting to cook a bit, but I'll just go to it because this one is, kind of obvious. In, again, Q4 443, once again, we've got the numbers, we got this should be executed. This time I was complaining earlier that, hey, I'd rather it be K9 out there. Okay. This time it is K9. K9 goes in motion, quick little lateral, basically a long lateral, and nothing doing again. I mean, again, hey, good defense. The Rams are a good defense, so you got to tip your cap a little bit, but we've got numbers and we're just not freaking blocking with the horizontal game. So again, at this point of the game, we had to go back and forth. And eventually it gets to overtime. But boy, oh boy, Adam, I was not happy with the play calls at this point because we were being successful vertically with play action. Now we're in shotgun and we're going horizontal and we poorly execute it. What do you see?
This is all a Cooper Kupp problem, and you can see it right out of the gate here. Watch 10 here. He engages the DB for a half a tick with like one arm, and it's like, good enough. And moves up to the next dude and just leaves him free to go ahead and close the distance quickly before K9 can even get rolling. Yeah. And just awful. Just awful. Yeah. Like that's a whiff. Yeah, he was running to a spot more than he was making sure he's going to block the dude. And like, again, this is one of the reasons you're supposed to be here, man, is that you're a supremely good blocker. We heard about it all the time, blah, 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 when he was with the Rams. And this is that's a D-. Like that's about as bad as it gets, man.
Well, he's upfield right away, but it's not warranted. It's like a
target your dude.
Well, exactly. It's like a guard who's trying to get to the second level, but didn't do the first job, didn't. I mean, if the guard's job was to chip and make sure it's passed off or whatever it is before he gets to the second level, or just make sure this dude is outside enough, like you blew him back at least two yards, or God forbid, just stay with the guy. You have other blockers. Well,
yeah, and the thing is that I'm sure he would tell you, because this all happening really fast, right? So like to give him some grace there. I'm sure he'd tell you, hey, guy had kind of blown by me. I thought K9 could get past him, and so I just moved up to the next level, and they lose that block as well. The guys that are doubling here, bang, lost that, and actually that's the dude ends up making the final tackle. But with that said, like, okay, you get beat to the outside a little bit here, Kupp, then just stay on your block and sustain it. Turn him to the outside. Make sure that lane is there. If that lane's there, then K9 can probably get closer to the sidelines here and maybe get the corner.
Right.
So, yeah, just poor effort there. Blocking in space is hard. It
is. And again, it's, when I just often when I want to be very mad at Kubiak, and then I go back and watch the plays, I'm like, it's not a bad idea. It was poorly executed. And I will say though, but at the same time, under center play action was ripping. And then all of a sudden, and the very next play, we run a wide receiver screen to JSN on 3rd and 7, and he goes for like 3 yards. It's not very well blocked. And then we punt again. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? Why are we not under center? Why are we not play action? So there were some frustrations there that I think a lot of different people had.
Sure. a couple things to that. Number one, there's never been a perfectly called game in the NFL. Never.
No.
It's never happened.
Right.
Perfection is unattainable. Like, it's just not something that's going to happen. Secondly, the way that you can tell the difference on just play to play, and you're talking about sequencing of plays and moments and what you're doing well and having a feel for the game flow. It's a separate conversation a little bit to me. When we're talking about just play to play and you recognize the difference between bad offensive coordinating and just bad execution, anything that you saw in that last play, was that anything that you felt like was a bridge too far to ask of any of the players that were out there on the perimeter? You got Kupp out there who's well within range of the DB to go and get him. It's not like he's being asked to like cover a ton of ground and do some sort of crazy reach block or anything like that. Like, these are guys, Cody White's supposedly a good blocker as well. And you end up losing two blocking assignments there on the one play, and nobody was asked to do anything that's outside of their ability or anything that's outside of what a normal NFL offensive coordinator would expect you to do on the play. So at that point, then it's failure. Now, you can say, hey, it's on Kubiak to teach it better so that they execute it better. Okay. I mean, there's merit to that, but also too, on game day, and the players will tell you this, when it comes to the success or failure of the play, in execution terms, that's on them. That's on them in the game. Yeah. And they would all own up to that on that play.
They're professionals. They're all they know what the assignment is, and it's just not executed. And again, our horizontal game, where like even the Zachwards pass, I was listening to Brock and Salk was going on and on and on. He's like, that play had no chance. That play never had a chance. And Brock goes, well, the Rams run it all the time and they're great with it. And it's stuff that Kansas City runs all the time and they're great with it. Right. So, Brock was pushing back on Salk, and I think correctly, because it's like, no. If the ball gets to Charbonnet, I mean, he probably just scoots in the end zone there. It's most likely. Now there's got to be some blocking again and execution horizontally, but we just don't do this very well. So I'm interested to see how Kubiak may evolve yet with a few more weeks to go. Do we still lean on this horizontal raid stuff at times, because the whole NFL does? Or do we just see less because like we're not very good at it? I don't know. I guess we will see.
Well, you got to find the ones that you are good at, because it's not like you're bad at every single type of those sort of plays. But
like you said, JSN gets 6, 7, 8, 11 yards usually when he gets those.
Yeah. To the point of people kind of losing it over the play call on the Zachwards pass. There was a Super Bowl play between the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots, in which the New England Patriots came back from a 16-point deficit and won a chip for Tom Brady yet again. They had to score a couple touchdowns and get 2-point conversions. You know what they scored on one of those 2-point conversions? That play, that exact play. And we're talking about one of the greatest dynasties of all time, with an offensive play caller in Josh McDaniel, who, when he's not a head coach, fantastic OC. So if it's good enough for him and for them to win a Super Bowl on, then it's a good enough call in the situation in a big moment. It's been proven to work over time.
Yep, I agree with you. I want to call this out or address it real quick. So Cam Robinson saying, what do you two think about the Kupp not covering the ball up on his fumble? Didn't look like he had two hands, but then he says that looks sus. I don't really, look, my interpretation of what you're saying looks sus, Cam, is that you think he did it on purpose. Well, then I don't think he would have, if that's the case. Maybe you're just joking, like, oh, he's a Ram, and maybe that's the joke. But, no, it gets punched out. It's a helmet to the ball. You want to see him covered up with two friggin' hands and not give up a turnover with the clock winding down, with a chance to either make the game 14-13 before the half and getting the ball, or at the very least 13-10 getting the ball back. So untimely for sure. Nice ball by Sam again, by the way. And you just get down and get to the next play. So terrible turnover. But, he had his redemption arc. He had the biggest play, I think, the biggest play in overtime, the biggest catch for sure to set the game up for success. Anything for you, Adam, on the Kupp fumble?
Well, I would challenge anybody to watch receivers when they play. And I can't believe I'm defending Kupp here on a play that I wanted to shoot him to the moon, to steal one of your phrases. I just, in irrational me, in my irrational hatred, sports hatred for Kupp, I'm like, oh, look at that. Freaking Judas, traitor. Like, of course that Ram went out there and did that, and knowing that that's not like an actual analysis of what happened on that play. But I challenge you to watch most receivers when they're carrying the football, and especially when they're trying to get downfield. How many of them are holding on to the ball with two hands? How many?
And unless it's like 10 degree, very, very few. Some hold it like a loaf of bread, right? Many do still.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, and it's not like he had it out loose either.
No,
like
right
it
here.
was up, it wasn't quite as tight as like you would coach it on like teaching tape or something like that, the high and tight, 3 points of contact, all of that. But the knock by the helmet there, I don't think it was planned by Cam Curl, but it happened and it hit the ball just right. And football's a funny game. And as much as I want to say in my irrational sports brain that was Kupp trying to sabotage us, not true. I just think it was one of those football plays, and I don't think he did anything other than just not holding on to the football.
Yeah,
it's going to happen from time to time.
I'll agree. Smoke Burp which by the way, that's a fun name at least. Smoke Burp with a good comment here saying sometimes people make good tackles and put their helmet on the ball. I don't think he saw the guy in time, and I think that's exactly it. And Kupp is, look, man, I've said this before, and some of our little flockers get mad at me when I say this. One thing Kupp does exceptionally well is he goes for every yard and he goes north as quickly as he can. We know he's not as fast as he used to be. We know that. But he's been actually really good yak-wise all year long when he does get the ball in his hands. Unlike a wide receiver that left us this year, who the last 2.5 years or so wouldn't take hits, so it's like, which one do you want? And I don't mean like comparing which one do you want right now, Lockett or Kupp. I mean, what type of player do you want on your team? I don't honestly think the Lockett mentality at this point of his career is going to fly on a Mike McDonald team. I think they'd be like, no, we're not going to pay you. We're not going to play you. So
for 10 times less money, I think I'd rather have this version of Tyler Lockett over this version of Cooper Kupp. But I would implore,
I like Kupp.
And JSN would be one of the people I would implore to do this and to learn from. Kupp can't run anymore, but as you pointed out, has been getting pretty decent yak numbers.
Yeah.
And it's because he's not screwing around. Catch ball, go forward. Quit trying to. JSN does this constantly where it catches the ball and then loops back 2-3-4 yards to try to get around a defender. And then,
but he gets,
I know it works a lot.
I know it works a lot, but he has a big play,
I'm not saying it doesn't, but I think most young receivers or just receivers in their prime even would be better off overall, like game in, game out, if they just put a foot in the ground and got north. It's one of the things that drives me the most nuts when I'm watching wide receiver play around the league. Like, look, not everybody is, a Wes Welker jitterbug who can do that sort of stuff. Like, get your foot in the ground, get forward, fall forward. DK used to do this crap all the time. And it was like, dude, like if anybody in the world should just put a foot down and go forward, it should be you. You're a monster. Like, let's go.
Yeah, a rugby player who can
and Kupp does it well.
He does. He does. Say, look at that. Look at that, folks. We got to compliment a couple out of Adam. And
hey, I'm fair.
I know fair. You are. If anything, you're fair. So, all right. So we're gonna hit over now. When we win, we not only start with an in. We typically get the Brandon. Brandon's got something going on. He's got an anniversary coming up, and he's celebrating that with his wife. Wish him a happy anniversary. And so that's why Adam's in. So we're not gonna do a Brandon, but we did add this other. I forgot what he called it. It was like a guide. I forget what Brandon called it last week. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. But not only when we win do we start with an in. We typically get the Brandon when that happens. But we added this year when the Seahawks win in the last second. We also get one more bonus in. We call it the last second win. And oh my, look at this. Ryan 911. One more time, $9.99 super chat saying it's our time. It's our time down here for the Brandon. Well, we'll get the win, and we won't take Troy's bucket at all, Ryan. I'm picking up what you're putting down, you goonie. But what we're going to look at is, did I name it? I think I named it. Let's see. Yes, I did, to give you the clue. And I think people probably like playing along at home too. All right, so we're going to call this one. It's the win. We call it Where the Buffalo Roam. 30-22 at this point in the game. Q4, 7:02 to go. Seattle is on our own 43. It's a 1st and 10. So Can you mentally place where we're going? If I'm calling this one where the buffalo roam, what might we be looking at?
There's nobody on our team from Colorado.
No, not Colorado. No.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
let's
so
how about
here.
mascot? How about mascot that's not, it embodies, it's another way of calling a thing a buffalo, right? It's a kind of a type of,
all right.
of
All right. So this has to be Zabel doing something. Either him or Sundell getting after it from North Dakota, the bison.
Well, what is the plural of buffalo?
Bison?
No, I mean just buffalo, right? That's it. That's kind of like that. That's it. There's not buffaloes.
Nobody says that. We all say it's bison.
Bison. Well, either
I actually live around them, dude. So
yeah, and I've never seen one, so I totally know. All right, so
cool.
so where the buffalo roam, we're looking here. This play, this is the Shaheed reverse. So again, first and 10, first and 10 from around 43, and this looked like at first it was like a little slow to develop. Like, oh my gosh, Kubiak's getting cute. Remember, we yell at Kubiak when he gets cute. Here he got cute.
And then we yell at him when he gets conservative, be like, be more creative.
Right. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the Rams are damned here because Shaheed's really good. But the reason he sprung is let's watch what our center and our left guard do on this play. There's others that are successful too. But, when they do lack a little bit of power, how about getting through traffic and then getting out in space with speed? Dude, look at the buffalo roaming out there, dude. Two hooks. Hook 'em horns, man. This is moving through a lot of crosstown traffic, Adam, finding your dude, and then doing the work. If I'm going to rail on people for not executing in one avenue, well, then boy, oh boy, when we're down 8 and we need to score, then I'm going to highlight this as well. What are you saying?
I see something that is a standout quality of both of these players, in that Sundell and Zabel here, is that they both move their feet and can run for alignment really, really well in space. And Sundell even gets kind of nailed there by, I want to say it's Verse maybe coming inside of Lucas there a little bit. He kind of jumps Lucas to the inside, which what a difficult block for Lucas too, to start with there, because you see where the defender's lined up to his inside shoulder and he's got to get all the way inside him. So he gets a tiny bit of penetration. Sundell's able to bounce off that and keep the timing of the play going with Zabel moving right there with him. And they both target well here, and Zabel just gets a hand on Puna Ford there to keep him off of Shaheed. And then, once he gets that edge, Shaheed's just smoke show.
Yeah.
Good luck catching up with him.
Great stuff there. It's very often you'll see this kind of traffic and the players don't have the savvy to make it through. And then it's just a log jam and the play goes nowhere. It's like, you're lucky if you get back to the line of scrimmage. Man, they work their way through that. They find the open space. They find their man. They each execute hook blocks. And then, then downfield, you see Lucas laying lumber. And then in this, I'll go to the closer up one, because I think you see it better here too. Downfield also, we haven't said his name yet, but we got Jones 74 going hunting, and he is way out here still doing work. And by the way, for a guy to come in and take the place of Charles Cross, our starting left tackle, and you don't really think about him and you're like, oh, you do just played a good game. He deserves some kudos, not just in this play, but really in the entire game.
Honorary in for Josh Jones and his effort for the week. I mean, short week, having to come in and start and playing good football. And, kind of the last thing about this is watching Sundell latch on to the DB here. And it was just over at that point. Like, DB's out of the play. And it was great.
It's extremely well executed, and this is the kind of stuff that it gets me excited. I think the coolest part in what you said is we get on Kubiak if he's conservative and doesn't work, and we get on Kubiak when he's cute if it doesn't work. And lo and behold, if they execute, then the numbers are there. Kubiak scheming things that can work and can work in volume. And oh, by the way, we scored 38 points. It's like,
while committing a turnover in the red zone.
Right. Exactly. So, if both two, the Kobe Turner one, and then the fumble was also, if it wasn't red zone, it was pretty darn close to the red zone.
Oh, okay.
With the cup.
It was in the high red zone.
Yeah. Whatever that means. So that is that's our win, which is really fun. So, I love getting extra stuff to look at because it's the best. But that is our ins and outs for the week. Now we're going to get to the MVC. Then stick around. We still have a really full from the flock because people are really fired up. So the MVC, drum roll, please. And Adam, I gotta give this a Sammy Bear, dude. Sam Darnold. And I'm going to coin this one, or the inscription in the MVC. By the way, folks, the MVC is the most valuable cranny. You can see the trophy on screen there. It's a very real physical trophy. We have a 3D printer that's at Brandon's house, and he prints it and he sends it to the VMAC. And then each player absolutely gets this very real trophy and puts it in their very real lockers, and they celebrate it
because it's front.
Yeah, because it's very real. So the inscription is going to say, for stepping into the fire, taking a shot, and throwing a dot to Cooper Kupp in overtime. How do you feel about our Sammy Bear getting the MVC this week?
It couldn't have been anybody else, just because of how much of the narrative around him that I am as much a propagator of as anybody else coming into this game, about his inability to get it done in the biggest moments, in the fortitude that it took, the mental toughness, all of that, just super impressive. And then the physical toughness on this specific throw, taking a shot and throwing a dot, as you put it there. I mean, he earned it. And I think one of the things that I came away from this game, Clinton, after listening to the pressers, that really kind of hit me the most, and even JSN and Darnold, when they were there doing their interview after the game, is how much of Mike's personality is completely baked into this team. Like, people asking Sam about, hey, everybody was saying this, and then you did that, and like, doesn't that feel good? And, take a victory lap, right? And he's just kind of like, yeah, well, that's what we do. You do the process, and then you win games. And, everybody was so low key in their press conferences, and just like, yeah, well, that's what we do. I know it's a massive game. We'll just move on. Kind of the way Mike is, just so even keel. And that's a mark of a great coach setting a great culture, and that culture helping somebody like Sam Darnold out, who I think is a lot like me whenever I did any sporting activities. The emotional roller coaster that I would go on was too much. I couldn't overcome it. And kind of keeping it low key and calm, be like, oh yeah, we threw 2 picks, and people will say things about that. Couldn't give a rip. And I'm going to go out there and kick ass now throughout the end of the game. Just awesome. And it was fun to see.
Yeah, for sure. And also, of course, fun to see Ryan's on a heater here. Another $9.99 super chat. He says MVC. He goes MV banger. Great show, guys. Love the Pro Cooper Cup content from Adam. Yes, we all do. Ryan, dude, again, that's amazing. A really cool, nice point here too, or just a simple point, but well, it's a nice, simple point. A point made simply is what I'm trying to say, from Sean Scotchman, just saying, being humble professionals, like that's, and it is not the norm, right? Let's in 2025, it's not the norm in professional sports. And also like a high contact sport like football. Football is just a bunch of absolute alphas who are out to prove every single play that they are the alpha in that room. And this is the elite of the elite of the elite athletes in the world playing a really physical game. And then they could kind of just gather themselves and like you said, have that demeanor of, just execution, And I think that actually when you win games like that, it could have this really kind of cool compound effect against your rivals, because you don't seem like you're rattled, and maybe you're not, right? Even if you are, your placidness on the surface can really irritate your rivals, because like they're trying. You saw Jared Verse going off the field there, and he's slamming the helmet down, of course. And for Sam to be that cool, and JSN to be that cool, and McVay is blowing a gasket at the podium, and Jared Verse is destroying equipment on the way out to the tunnel, that's when you didn't just win the game, you won the emotional battle. And that is something, dude. That is a big, big thing. But I love your point that it starts at the top.
Yeah, and great teams always do embody the personality of their coach. And one of the things that Mike's not about is getting on the they'll live stream after the game and immediately criticizing refs and being a crybaby and all that stuff, like Shmuka Babua, or whatever his name is.
He took right to Twitter. Yeah, he's man.
Dude, take the
boy,
phone away from the guy.
know,
what
right?
are we doing? What are we doing?
He having a week. He goes out and plays a game he played, but everything else off the field is like, what are you doing? But anyway, that's not our problem, so I'll leave it to other people. Whistle Jacket saying, great show. What a great game and super recap. Thank you guys for the work. Hey man, thank you. That's a very nice comment. We do appreciate that. So
Really
that's the NBC. We had our ins. We had our win, our bonus in, of course. But now we're going to get to From the Flock. But before that, what I want folks to know is that every single From the Flock is coming from our Discord. And to be part of that Discord, which you should join, you got to do something. We call it value for value. Adam, how can people get involved and why should they?
What you have to do is comment in the comments on the live chat here and just compliment us relentlessly. Clinton's obviously the better looking one, and so give a little more compliments there. That's fine. And when you do, then you'll just get an honorary acceptance into the flock and get in the Discord. But no, go to getintheflock.com, sign up for the Patreon. It's easy peasy, and we do appreciate it. Helps us put out these 5 unique shows every single week. We got 5 out last week, even within a short week, and it's because of that effort, sustained effort by us and the team, that we go out and beat the stupid Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to address a good comment here that I saw. I think it was Sean again, just saying, how about the K9 game? So, hey, that's why, like, the show, we're picking 6, sometimes 7, sometimes 8 plays to highlight, and stuff gets just dropped. But that's why From the Flock is so cool, because we got flockers who are certainly talking about K9. So we'll get to that right now, but a really good call out. So I do appreciate that. All right. So we are into From the Flock, and that is what it looks like. It's beautiful. Let me pull the first one up so I can see it with my peepers. I'll take the first one because you just did some reading. We're going to start with Josh DeHuman saying, in the virtual measurement. I guess it's an in because it was, I like the old chain gang, but I also like when we win virtual measurements. In to Gray Zabel with the blocks on K9. Hey, Nate, there's your $1 on that angry run. We like that. We got Nostradamus Chosen. He's a good dude. He sent an audio clip back into the Discord after about how happy he was. Yeah, it was good. And he says, in, run, Zabel, run. And Car, in. Darnold's looking good, keeping the ball safe. And we love Car, and she wears it all on. She's in the moment with it, of course. Then Darnold had his woes, but then he was the hero again. So, a play in 3 parts, if you will. And then we have the Lemon 1990, who's Aaron, very, very good dude, saying, in Zabel's block on the big K9 run. So lots of love early for K9, lots of love early for that Zabel block. And Nate, your $1 would have been better placed here, but we appreciate you just the same. All right, Adam, can you take the next?
All right. Well, thanks for giving me a break there, because I did some reading, and that's way too much for me. So let's see if we can move on from here. So we got from Spring Mix, out bubble screens, your less athletic running back. And Clinton, you talked a lot about that. Yeah. And it's something that you and I have talked about off air a fair amount. And we're all in agreement on that. 12th Man Records has an out shotgun pass on 3rd and 1. And I believe he's talking about the one to JSN that was broken up. We had the Barner drop the play before. So it looked like it worked on the last play. You figure you might be able to get on the next. But it can be frustrating to throw out a gun on 3rd and short. It's not the type of football I love to play. Josh DeHuman with the out. Receivers having butterfingers the first half. This is ridiculous. And the whole team wasn't sharp coming out in the first half. We had the Barner drop. We had a Bradford false start, and then Kupp with the fumble. And that killed basically 3 drives out of their 4 in the first half. And it made it tough.
Yeah, Barner should have caught the ball, and it was on his back hip. I think it was, but you're a professional.
No, that's catchable ball. You got to catch it.
Catchable. I'm with you. And I think it could be in his hands a bit better too. Again, execution, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Frost coming in with by the way, Frost is Ryan 911, who is also coach. So in Colby Parkinson coming down with the clutch drops. Adam, you called that out earlier. We love that. Thank you, Colby. I think he had 2 significant drops. We got Car again saying the blessed wins, maybe because of the missed field goal. Either way, that's fun. B-Wag's biceps out. Why do we not keep handing the ball to K9 after his big run? Keep the momentum going. It's been mostly Sharps in the backfield after that. Adam, I know that I'll park there for a second. I know that frustrates the crap out of you. Like,
oh man,
do we ride the hot hand or not? And apparently not.
Yeah, look, the argument earlier in the season was, okay, we're splitting the carries because we're keeping the load off of K9 for when it really matters, and that way he's fresh and we'll be good going down the stretch. And I think that there's some logic to that reasoning for sure. What was this game? What was this game?
I don't know.
The biggest game of the regular season that could really shape your playoff hopes. And look, if it is hot hand time, like, just pick whoever's running the damn ball and give him the ball. We've been waiting for the K9 breakout game. Just let him get after it. He's got their number. His pacing's working better than Charbonnet's in that game. Let's go. And of all the Kubiak criticisms, I think that's the one that frustrates me the most by far, without question. I don't understand it.
Yeah. And do you remember or recall or no? I guess that'll all get us there. How many carries K9 had yesterday?
Oh, no clue off the top of my head.
He had 100
10?
yards, 11 carries on 100 yards.
Not enough.
So, it's like, okay, but great point by B-Wags there. Obviously, Frost saying in Charbs recovering the fumble in the end zone. Again, we talked about the Zachwards pass, which is really great. And I just love, my favorite part of that whole thing is just the Rams fans just complaining about it. It's like, dude, it's the rule. Like, I understand it's lucky. I understand that. We got lucky on that.
Nobody's denying it.
Right. That is luck, but it's also the rule, so just stop. And
the one thing you'll hear from Rams fan about that play, but the whistle blew. I heard the whistle. Were you there? Were you on the side? No, you couldn't hear the whistle. You can't hardly ever hear the whistle on the game tape and all of that.
It's also not part of the rule.
No, it's a dead ball. Yeah, well,
it's not. It's the actual. Yeah. Actually, it's the actual rule is, even if there's a whistle on a backwards pass that's ruled a fumble, even if there's a whistle, as long as the player that's going for it is like the rule is in the book is like, as long as the player that's trying to pick it up essentially is not stopping and starting, is just always going for it and picks it up, in spite of the whistle then does not matter. So that's Charbonnet. He moses to it, but he's always moving towards it, picks it up and goes, look what I got. 2 points. We tie the game. Tough titty. All right. We got, you know what? Your turn. Takeaway for Amy's.
All right. So we got Design Pete's Beach House, and that's my sister from another mother, Amy. And we generally agree on everything in the world. She's got out fans calling for Sam's head and saying the game was over and being miserable. And I can't disagree more with this one. You got a less than 3% chance to win the game. It's looked awful. The same things that you've seen in the past, they're all confirming what you've seen throughout the years. Like, it just, if you want to be Pollyanna at that moment and require no criticism, then that's okay. Everybody can fan differently, but at the end of the day, I think it's just not looking at reality to not be critical in a moment like that. And then to come back and say, look, Sam came back, won the game. It's a huge win, massive for our season. Give him all the flowers and say you were wrong, because I was wrong. I was wrong in the moment, and Sam did it, and that was awesome. So I guess overall, I'm just having a hard time this season a lot with trying to please the people that have to be positive all the time, otherwise it's a waste of their life, and the people that have to be negative all the time, otherwise it's a waste of their life. And I prefer to live in what is. We got big B-Wags biceps here, out K9 with 100 yards on 11 runs. 11 runs?
There we go.
Come on now, Cubes. We just talked about that. Couldn't agree more.
Yep.
KDO in for Car, sacrificing watching so we could get the win. And I know Car was not able to catch the game live, but when she got in the car and started driving home, that's when everything flipped. So it was Car. We all know it was her. Paul King with an in, sideline ref giving an emphatic kick while signaling Cup making the catch on the OT drive. She liked that one. Yeah, that was one that If you don't like that catch, you don't like football. Let's
Right.
just put it that way. And obviously, to become a ref, you must like football. Bunny with the number 1 seed in the NFC, and that's more than an in. That's a fact, bud, and it is awesome.
I love that. I love all that. We've got a great comment on screen from Cam. Thank you, Cam. Appreciate that as well. Awesome that you saw a short, a while ago and then got you here, which is really cool. Adam and I were talking about that just yesterday. So we got Doc Hawk saying in Cup on the toe tap, in defensive depth, in Shahid's return, he's hitting the greatest hits there, Adam. Goes out, fans leaving early, out.
A few.
Two-face slapping picks by Sam. Yeah, face slapping picks. I like that by Sam. Out, Cups fumble. Got to protect the rock. Covered, but good job, Doc Hawk. Nice and tidy, by the way. I appreciate that because it saves my voice a bit. Frost again in. Remember how Sam can't win big games? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. 4 question marks. Danex in. 172 when behind 14 plus points in the fourth quarter. Make that 172. Amazing. Let's keep rocking, Adam.
All right, Nostradamus chosen here. In. Sam Darnold has earned 100% of my trust. Run.
Well,
look,
I just so you know, there was a longer thing. I truncated it so the run looks out of place. So the rest of it was more.
All right,
words,
I thought maybe I just wasn't getting it. I'm at about 80 to 85% trust with Sam.
Pretty high for you. That's pretty high.
That's pretty high considering where it started. So not all the way there. And I think it's foolhardy for fans to be like, see, he did it once and that's forever and it's good. Let's give it a little bit more time, but that's a huge pin in the positive bucket, no doubt about it. The Verselmeister, he's got in pissiness. Yes, Rams pissiness is always fun. Danex has an in, clinched the playoffs. Yeah, we're going to the playoffs. Nate Schutz, he's got a bunch of ins here. In Shahid, punt return TD. In post-game crew, calling out fans for leaving when we were down. Did the stands look all that empty to you by the
no,
as
still loud.
I think maybe there's gonna be a few,
maybe 10% left, and cold soggy night, and you're down a lot, and maybe you got a kid or something like that. But hey,
it's not like Falcons fans.
About who?
Yeah,
who
exactly? Yeah, Falcons. They have fans that run out like they don't even show up for the games. All right. So we also got in fellow Hawkers for enduring my negativity. I was going through it. I apologize. No need to apologize for feeling negative about things that are negative during a game. In Mike's big balls. Would you call the 2-point conversion a big ball call? I kind of feel like it's the only call.
Yeah, I was still impressed by it. And in the moment I was like, okay, I'm like 3.5 minutes. Maybe you take the one and then you kick the ball back, but then they just need a field goal. Right. The tie, I think, also gets you into the playoffs, which is still, you got to get to the dance, because if Detroit wins out and let's say we lost this heartbreaker and Detroit wins, we could be on the outside looking in. But with that, medium-sized balls, maybe.
I don't know. Nate Schutz here. He's got Pete wouldn't have gone for. Couldn't disagree with that more. Pete would absolutely go for that. Like, think of all of the crazy plays that he called in high leverage moments, like the John Ryan fake punt and, on and on and on in big calls and big moments. So we talk about this being like the NFC Championship game with the Packers. How about the big play action bomb that Russ hits Curse on 4th and whatever it was, like that. Those are big calls. I think Pete gets drugged through the mud a little bit about his conservatism sometimes. Mm-hmm. In terms of going for it on 2 there, we don't play for ties, Clinton. I don't care. There wasn't a strategic advantage to a tie other than, helping, I guess, making sure you clinch playoffs. You got 2 more games. Don't play for ties. You need this. This is the way you came back and everything. This is a program defining win. This is something that Mike is going to be able to point at throughout the years that really helps galvanize a team and bring them together and let them have belief. But last thing Nate Schutz had on here is edit no outs. I used them all during the game. Me too.
Hey, look. So one thing about that negativity, positivity during the Discord and during the game. I grew up I am a Mets fan, and I was an 8-year-old kid in '86 when the Mets made that incredible comeback versus the Red Sox, like down to nobody on, 2 outs and Gary Carter gets a single and it starts this whole thing. And, everybody kind of knows the Bill Buckner play. And, it was kind of ingrained in me very, very early that it's like a very, very do not give up. Anything can happen in sports. Don't give up. And so I've got that's always going to be my through line is I don't care. There's a second left. We could win as long as we mathematically could win. And I also tend to do nitpick during the game a bit, right? Because I'm oh man, where the hell was that play? Why are we running the bubble? Stuff like that. So that's how I fan, but I'm also my sensibilities are low. It's I want people to fan the way that they want to fan as well, for sure. One of our best fans is Lisa in Seattle. And by the way, Amy, I love you very, very much, by the way. So, and you fan exactly how
one of my favorite people in all the world.
Not a call out to her whatsoever. She's friggin' awesome, and I want you to fan exactly.
No, it wasn't just her during the game either, right? There's a few people,
and I get it.
And that's the fun part about the Discord is that we do have everybody that's all over the spectrum.
Yeah, we do.
You get a lot of different viewpoints
and all over the world, right? Which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So we got JSN Jiggy with it, which is Lisa, who was at the game again. What a freaking game. And by the way, Mr. Phil was there with his son. So good job, Phil.
Yes.
What a game. But she goes, catfish in, catfish the Rams, in, catfish the Rams, in, catfish the Rams. Only she didn't say catfish. And that's great. And we also got Boye Komova in, started strong, in, finished strong, out the middle, which is funny. KDO again in at least 2 more wins than last year with our 12th win, 12th man record. Speaking of 12, in at Car getting her wish all year long. She's been putting wishes in the wishing well for 100-yard century mark K9 games in the biggest game of the year. Car gets her wish. That is friggin' awesome. And we got Mark Godzilla Hawk saying in Seahawks rush for 171 yards. And he says K9 rushes for the C note, which was exactly Car's wish. So a lot of people celebrating that. And we got a few more. Stick with us.
All right.
We got a lot more. Let's rock and roll. Let's do it. Hey,
all right. We'll cruise.
You're going to put them in and get so fired up and give us these super chats, and hundreds of people hanging out last night. We're going to read them. So stick around because they're all good points.
All right, so we got the Versalmeister again here with in 2nd and 4 for the Rams in the first half, becomes 2nd and 8 in the second half. Huge. And I agree that had to do with the defense stiffening up with the runs up the middle. Right hand Dan's got an in. Thursday Night Football lives up to the billing for once. Best Thursday Night Football game I've ever seen. And giving Myers the week off. He needed it. He worked his butt off last week. And so, Myers, you can hang out over there. We got this time, and we'll call on you again when we need you. Sheena Nickans has out. Zabel had a rough outing. I think he had some rough moments. Is it rougher than this comment?
I got to pause you. It's so funny. So last week I was calling him Sheena. And so he's in our Discord as well. He goes, it's like shenanigans. So it's like, shenanigans is how he's like dot. And I'm a dude. So it's not Sheena. So it's like shenanigans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Funny I was kind of thinking more like Sheena Warrior Princess or something like that.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. And then we also have the Alaskan Snowhawk here. No doubt how to say that. In Darnold off the helmet for the Hail Met Mary. And that's pretty good. I like that one too. A lot of fun nicknames.
Yeah, that they are all really, really good. All right. We got a cruise. Like we said, we got right hand Dan in John Schneider for trading for Shaheed, making special teams dangerous again in 2025. Hey, 4th and a 5th round pick. Cool. Great.
Huge.
We got Shaheed, sign him, give him a nice contract. Away we go. Shenanigans again in Rams fans throwing fits about the 2-point conversion when the dead ball recovery has existed since 2006. And then in the Zackwards pass, which we talked about, which is a great nickname. Adam, I'll take this one too. We got GG Gambling Goat, another great member who's hanging out in the Discord. By the way, he had lots of different things that he said, but they were kind of repeats. So he was not just throwing it out there, but he says out Josh Jobe. He really struggled throughout this game. He did. He was picked on, but then in that moment we showed earlier, he shined, which is another reason I wanted to put it out there. DCH, our reverse jinx specialist in Jay freaking Harbaugh. Special teams was the secret sauce that turned the tide. Jay Harbaugh's having a great year, and his players are executing. So great stuff by DCH. And in from I Like to Touch My Bobo, in games this season, when Darnold throws a pass off a helmet, we're now 1-2. So that's better than 0-2, Adam.
Yeah, getting closer to 500 there. So we'll see if that continues in the playoffs. We also have USMC Hawk here, and he's been with us forever in play action on our OT touchdown that brought the linebacker down from the middle of the end zone to clear it for JSN. We love the play action. We love what it does to those second-level defenders. Out first play of overtime drive. Bradford gets beat and almost gets Darnold sacked. We didn't find ourselves killing Bradford all game, and so that's good there. Leo, he's got an in now 1-172 when trailing by 15 plus in the fourth quarter. We've heard about that. I'm actually surprised at that stat, Clinton, with the Russell Wilson years. It feels like we should have like one or two more of those, but anyway.
Yeah, I agree. We got Hulk hands in Sam, in one less turnover, and look what happened. In 2 feet, 1 cup, in Rams tears, in greatest ending to a game since the tip, in my humble opinion. I know there's also, for me, the NFC Championship game, right? So there's some good ones too. But hey, that's pretty cool when you can be like, oh, which one is it at Lumen? Is it the tip? Is it the NFC Champion? The tip to send us to the Super Bowl, or the reception touchdown to send us to the Super Bowl in overtime? So, pretty cool that's us. This is a good franchise, man. In John Schneider and anyone else that felt the need for Shaheed, which we all did. He says out. WTF is with all the 49ers talking about the 1 seed. So,
so annoying. It's as if like all these people haven't been able to talk Niners for weeks and weeks because they're basically irrelevant, even though they've, cobbled together wins against a terrible schedule and all that, with all the they're the dirty stepchild this year. They're not to be talked about. If we're not talked about when we're the third team in this division, neither are the Niners. They can shut up. I know they can follow their own destiny. Yeah, we'll see after Monday, dudes. Let's go.
Well, speaking of Monday, real quick, we've been talking about potentially doing a bit of a hate watch party and cheering live for Uncle Rivers, Uncle Phil, and what do you think? You got time on Monday to maybe just open up a live stream and watch Phillip Rivers do his thing versus the stupid 49ers potentially?
I'll have to check my schedule, Clinton, and see if I can make time to talk noise about the stupid Niners and their crappy fan base while they get beat by a geriatric quarterback. I think I can do it. I think I can find the time.
Cool. Take this one. We only have 2 more slides, so we'll close it out. Take this one. I got the last.
New York Stock Exchange AHawk is what I'm guessing that is there.
I think it's just New York Seahawk, That's
okay. Well, there you go. You can see how I group things together in my brain. It's always wrong. In being able to go grab a sandwich during the 4th and 5th round of next year's draft, as those 2 picks are already paying dividends with our guy, Shaheed. Great point. Out Nakua, just because, and for talking smack to Heman Wari, catfish that guy. Nakua and E-Man got feisty there in the game. That was fun. Like to see the Rook feeling his and feeling like he belongs in the league and he can take on that guy, because we need to. I like it when the guys backbone up and run their mouth a little bit back. Rising Hawker in Darnold, the defense in Mike McDonald, out. Uniforms for the game. Going into the game, Rising Hawker, I was decidedly meh about those unis. Now I am decidedly, they're one of my favorite.
Ooh, there you go. I like with the outcome in them. The helmet was shiny, and
that's what I'm saying.
I thought the get up with the navy sleeves. I think it looked really pretty okay. Better than I thought it was going to look. And we're going to close with our closer. The gray. Yeah, that is nice. We're going to close with our closer, Hawk Van Dyke. He's got a bunch of ins, 3, in a glorious minimum of 10 days as the number 1 seed. Bloomy always loves the days off and the mini buys. So great stuff. At least 10 days on top. Love that. I might play McVay's post-game hissy fit about the 2-point call 100 times this week. Yeah, amazing. And first time in NFL history, a game is won with a 2-point conversion in overtime. A walk-off 2-point conversion for our Seahawks to go to 12-3. 3. Adam, special teams do special things. And whether we're blowing out the Commanders or we are squeaking by and getting it done somehow versus the Colts, or we get the Charbonnet, the Zach Words pass, and we somehow pull this thing off with Sam getting the chip against the LA Rams, who are a darn good football team. This is now getting to, it is almost Christmas. It is Christmas this next week coming up, couple days away. And our team is 12-3 and the number 1 seed in the NFC, dude. Special teams do special things. What do you think?
This has been awesome. A fantastic run. A team that is very well balanced and plays complementary football with each other. And that includes the special teams, as you put there, Clinton. This is a fun year. Even though there's things that are annoying now and then, and you get a little down sometimes, and the roller coaster of it all, this is a great year to be a Seattle Seahawks fan. Not that any year is a bad year, but a lot of fun. A ton of fun. And this is a legit team that can win in a lot of ways, that's mentally tough, that can go anywhere. You know that they can go on the road, they can play at home, whatever it is, and these guys will be ready to rock. I love our coach. I love the effort. I love the resilience. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. And I love everybody who was with us this entire hour and a half of content, and who was with us for the pregame show, and who was with us for the live reaction postgame show, and who hangs out with us in the Discord. So we got to thank Witherfork again, coming in with that $80 super chat. And then Ryan 911 came in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 $9.99 super chats. That's amazing. And Nate Schutz, he's a man of his word, came in with the $1. And again, for anybody that's out there that has by this point liked the video, subscribe that on YouTube. When the video collapses, when this is done, the live stream, comment after. That really helps. Make sure you like it, share it, and hype the video. All those things help more than you know. Look, people keep saying, you guys are like the vibiest. You guys are the most fun. You guys are analysis, and you do a really cool job of keeping us entertained. You guys should have more views. We agree. So, share it with 1212s. And, we love you, man. We love doing this. And in a special season, we're going to keep at this. We got a little bit of a break. We're going to try to get some special guests on during this break. And then we're going to turn that page and then just get ready to go play a Carolina team. Adam, they're going to want to run the football. They're going to watch this tape and go, we got Rico Daddle, we got Chuba Hubbard. They're coming to our land. They're going to try to run the football against us. So we got to get prepared for that game. And just now, look, this is in our hands. Just go win the last 2. Get that friggin' bye week and make the rest of the NFC come through the PNW, because that is going to be clearly our best path to get back to the Super Bowl, bud.
100%. It's in the past. 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Let's do it. I like it.
Oh my goodness. So at the very end, an hour and a half later, all of a sudden you got an audio gremlin. So I'm going to say, with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Perfect.